Wither Roth. Hi, this is financial planner Sean Mullaney. Let's discuss. A lot of commentators love the Roth, but the world is changing, sometimes slowly, sometimes rapidly. And I'm going to link to a presentation made last year at the Bogleheads Conference by Mike Piper, a very well-respected practitioner, gentleman who's written a lot about taxes, Social Security, all those sorts of things. He did a compelling presentation about Roth conversions, and he had a very interesting conclusion that I agree with. And it was this. It was basically the two benefits of a Roth conversion are, in a general sense, one, reducing tax drag on taxable accounts. Essentially, you pay the conversion tax with taxable accounts, so that'll definitely reduce tax drag that way. And then the second one was reducing the harmful effect of RMDs. Okay, well, we live in a world where both those are becoming less and less and less harmful, even though many commentators rarely acknowledge that fact. Look at taxable accounts. Look at the 0% long-term capital gains bracket, especially if you're an early retiree. Tax drag may not even be a thing in early retirement because you're sheltered by this high standard deduction and then by the 0% long-term capital gains rate. So that's one benefit of the Roth conversion that seems to be slipping more and more off the table. And then what about RMDs? Well, the world has changed there too. What's going on? Well, one, we've had delay after delay on RMDs. If you're born in 1960, the way the rules work now, it says your RMD doesn't start to the year you turn 75. That's for those born 1960 or later. And tax rates on those RMDs keep coming down, and it looks like no guarantee. My money would be on even money that one big beautiful bill will pass and will extend the lower TCJA tax brackets. And the higher standard deduction. And oh, by the way, what's in the new version, the one big beautiful bill, even an increased standard deduction just by $1,000 a person, but still. And there's the senior bonus deduction. So the tax rates on RMDs keep going down as well. And commentators just are slow to arrive at this, right? So if Roth conversions are not all that advantageous if the two problems they're solving are becoming less and less problems. And few of us would ever recommend a Roth conversion during one's high earning years at work. Well, does Roth ever make sense? Because essentially a Roth 401k contribution at work is a glorified Roth conversion. It's just a Roth conversion while you're working because the alternative was a deductible traditional 401k contribution. And I'm here to say, not so fast in terms of wither Roth. I still think Roth plays a role, but we've got to be judicious, right? So where could Roth play a role? In the accumulation phase, the backdoor Roth IRA, the so-called mega backdoor Roth IRA, I'm still all for both those tactics. Now, why do I say that? Because neither of those tactics gives up or sacrifices a tax deduction. That's very important, right? What those tactics do is they say, well, you could have put this $7,000 or whatever the amount is into a taxable brokerage account and then get tax on dividends, while you're working. Or you just throw it in a Roth IRA or a mega backdoor Roth at work, and now you get some creditor protection on that. Now that money is sealed away from Uncle Sam and the IRS, at least until your death, and even then a 10-year rule in most cases, yada, yada. So great. Right, that I'm all for mega backdoor Roth IRA, because you're not sacrificing a tax deduction up front, which in working years tends to be the most valuable tax deduction you'll have. So that's a time where I'm like, hey, let's do Roth. The other time I'm all for Roth is the standard deduction, which keeps increasing. And boy, oh boy, could go up real big, especially for those 65 or older, if the current version of the one big beautiful bill passes, right? Which I'm predicting will happen, no guarantees, right? There's going to be machinations, there's going to be drama, all that, right? But I think end of the day, it's too important politically. It's probably going to pass. Well, okay, that sets up the higher TCJA standard deduction. They've just thrown in another $1,000 a person on the standard deduction in the one big beautiful bill. And then when you're 65 or older, they're going to add $4,000 in the one big beautiful bill as another deduction. Now, that is limited, but most retirees can control their income to get most or all of that. So now you're going to have a situation where there are going to be some seniors with essentially a standard deduction. I did the back of the envelope math recently. $43,200 by my quick and dirty analysis, using the 2025 numbers, using the senior bonus deduction. Well, that's a big opportunity, particularly in retirement, for a federal income tax-free Roth conversion. Oh my goodness, right? And I don't care, what you think about tax drag or RMDs. Federal income tax-free Roth conversions tend to make a lot of sense. Although premium tax credit, maybe not, but also maybe it might be required. That's a whole other conversation. But in most cases, now, to be fair, premium tax credit's not a consideration after 65, but those under 65 could have a $32,000 standard deduction if they're married. The $43,200 is for an over 65-year-old couple by my quick and dirty math. So we're going to have opportunities in retirement, early retirement, to do some significant Roth conversions potentially against the standard deduction. And that's going to make a whole lot of sense in most cases. So I think with Roth, it is not going away. It still plays a very valuable role, both in the accumulation phase and in the drawdown phase. But we've got to be judicious. We can't just say, oh, Roth's the best thing ever, and we're just going to do Roth all day. I think we got to step back and say, well, wait a minute. These tax rules tend to be favoring seniors in retirement. They seem to be getting better and better and better for seniors in retirement, which is true over the last few years and looks like it's going to be true in 2025 as well. So let me know what you think about Roth, traditional. Am I missing the boat on traditional versus Roth? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please mash that like button and subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time.